Hello, this is Chris with pixelfreak.com, and we are continuing our walkthrough of Samurai vs. Zombies Defense. This particular video is wave 16 through 19, so we're starting with wave 16. And at this point, I have stopped doing the Farmer Zerg technique, which I outlined in the earlier videos. I do pick that back up, as I've also mentioned in previous videos. Right now, I'm using a Panzer and Archer strategy, which at the time I was kind of just like concocting it as I went. It turned out to be kind of a bum deal. It wasn't a very good idea. It didn't work for very long, and I ended up going with the Panzer and Priest. Not to make it sound as if you're only allowed to use two, but my techniques, they tend to be relatively simple. So a lot of what I do here is I'm trying to keep the wheel back as oh, I got hit by it. Ouch. I'm trying to keep the wheel back as best I can. You just run up on him, make him attack, and then back up a little bit. He's going to keep pressing on. Oh man, I got another one coming up. And the lethargy skill, that skill will actually help an immense amount. And for those of you that are jumping in with this video, typically what I do for a strategy, especially on these earlier waves, is just rush out right at the zombies and try to slow them down as fast as possible while I level up my leadership levels and then unleash holy hell on the enemies with a big bulk of leadership. And see, as you can see, I'm already level 4 in this particular wave. I've already dispatched quite a few Panzers, and I'm starting to get some Archers going out too. Panzers are pretty good against those wheel guys, especially in these earlier levels where the wheel guys aren't too strong. Once they get stronger, you either got to level up the Panzers or try different strategies. But for the most part, this is really effective, especially before onset. This is just like stock Panzers. I think these Panzers have not been upgraded, not even once. So. It's funny with Samurai vs. Zombies. My initial reaction to this game was that it was a pretty fun game, and then once I started to try to do this walkthrough, I actually got a little upset with how the model of the purchase model in the game was implemented. I thought that it was very unfair, but after completing the game, especially getting to like wave 35 or so, I changed my mind about that, because it turned out that really I only used about $5 worth of in-game currency. Of course, I used the date sheet to get it, but it was the equivalent of about $5. So that was wave 16. And then I think here was where I did some upgrading. I think this is where I upgraded my leadership. So I upgraded it twice. I really think... I thought I upgraded my leadership there. Yeah, there we go. I went back. I think I upgraded my leadership here. I upgraded it twice. After beating the game and looking back on it, it would have been tougher, but I think it would have been totally possible to do everything that I did and only upgrade your leadership once. It would have put more strain on players, because you would have had to hold the enemies back a little bit longer. And some of those upper 40s levels, it gets cutting it close. You might have had to get a little more creative with your strategies. And I guess you'll see what I did once we get to those videos. But I upgraded it. And these are the only two, these are the only two upgrades that I use gold coins for. Later on, I did use a revive for 5 coins, and the reason I did that was because I actually snagged 2 of the special units in one level and then died. Unfortunately, I also wasn't recording at that particular time, so I think there's one wave and it might be like 41 or something like that, or 40. It might even be 40. I didn't anticipate that I was going to beat the level. I was just grinding out a little bit of silver coin so I could upgrade a couple things before I continued recording. But because I snagged those 2 boxes, I wasn't about to not finish the level. So one of the waves, and it's the only one I think that I only got half the wave recorded. Everything else is well documented. So I'm doing pretty well here, holding these guys back. Hit it. Hit lethargy. That's a common tactic, too, that you might want to use, is to hit lethargy, slow everything down, and then run in the back and clean up any ranged units or healers. And at this point in the game, there aren't any healers, but you get the point. Oh, here, this is where I first started using the Panzers and the healer, the Priest. Pretty effective. The Priest is pretty effective. You do need to upgrade your Panzers if you want to keep this strategy, but I would highly recommend what I later did, which is the Farmer Zerg again. Call it Farmer Zerg Reprise. Yeah, I started doing the Farmer Zerg again, and it's extremely effective. I actually wish that I would have done it through the whole game, because I probably would have been flying through the game. Probably easy. The trick is to come up with the coin to upgrade your farmers. That's really where it boils down to. I mean, really, I'm pretty sure you... Well, no, because you probably need to use some gold coins to upgrade your leadership. So that leadership upgrade is relatively important. I find it's just having that first one is probably pretty. But the farmers, it almost is like if you were going to pay for some currency, you know, buy silver coins and upgrade your farmers. Yeah, sure, you can grind them out, but it's going to take a while. Ooh, I almost died. I try as much as I can to not use my sushis. I do use them later on. In the 40s, I do use them. Mostly to survive levels that I snagged a good gold box. Interestingly enough, I would call this section of the game, where I was trying to use the Panzers with the Priest, I would call this the hardest section of the game that I have. It was actually easier in the 40s when I was trying to, when I was using farmers to zerg through. It was much easier. Oh, I am using some archers. That's good. Probably not as important. I do believe the archers actually stun the wheels a little bit, the little wheel guys. So they're nice for that, but I don't think they're entirely necessary here. They do become much more necessary when you have the little flying demon guys. And I think they come in after 20. I think they're the boss for 20. So there we go, 18. And once you get lethargy, I would highly recommend, you're going to want that on every single wave once you get it. I mean, the only reason I could think that you don't want to use... Never mind, I can't think of any reason you wouldn't want to use it. Even the attacks, they're not good enough to add up to just slowing the enemies and attacking them, you know, head on. It is much better than any attack that you're going to come up with. And once you get Troop, I think you get that on wave 40. Once you get to wave 40 and you get Troop, you exclusively use Lethargy and Troop. And it works really well against anything. Flying things, ground units, everything. Each Troop is pretty awesome. Kind of wish I would have had the gold to upgrade it, just to see, you know, exactly how strong it gets. that single panzer's just gonna get beat down. Oh, I died. So there's dead me. Okay, so that's one of the deaths that I had throughout the game. I didn't have a lot of them. Actually, you know, I did die several times, but most of them weren't captured. That was the thing. So this is one of the few that got captured. So, wow, looking totally broke there. Down to nothing. Okay, wave 18. Let's give us another try. So again, rushing in, trying to slow the guys down. Just makes it a little easier because the wheel doesn't come out right away. Hopefully you can clear out those enemies to start, before the wheel even gets there. That's probably a pretty good use of lethargy there. That's pretty rough with those rangers in there. They gotta get another lethargy and go clear them out. That's exactly what I do. Awesome. Run back there and kill them. Uh-oh, bombs are coming. That's a whole lot of crap right there. And it's rough if you're using panzers to try to negate these bombs. Because the panzers are so expensive, you can only pull them out in a few seconds. So you got 3 bombs running out yourself. With a farmer zerg, that's not the case. The farmers will take care of them. So it's definitely the case here that in this walkthrough, even though I did spend some gold coins, I didn't spend a ton of gold coins. Really the only things I upgraded was the leadership to 2 levels. Other things I did upgrade a decent amount with the silver coins, but the boss of the game was relatively easy to beat with my setup that way. And I say relatively. It's relatively easy. This is not the panzer strategy for this level is probably not the best way to go. I really don't like it. I've got enough archers now. With the bombs, I think the game needs you to just intelligently use lethargy to slow them down and just take care of them that way. The problem is that it takes way too long to refresh that skill, and because of that, it's not effective. It's much more effective to use that just to slow everybody down whenever you need to slow everybody down, and then take care of the bombs on a bomb-by-bomb basis. Ooh man, almost dead. Come on, don't die. So it looks like wave 18 was not such a great wave for me. Yeah, take care of those archers. Always the case. You take care of the archers, and take care of the guys in the back, whatever, the healers, the archers, and usually the front lines fall. Almost immediately. That's even more so when you get later on, and it's you're using the farmer zerg later on, is if they're getting supported in the back by especially healers. If you get back there, just wipe them out yourself real quick. The front line falls almost instantly. Okay, wave 19. This will be the last wave for this particular segment of the walkthrough. looks like I upgraded my bow. It's exploding now. Yep, sure is. That was some guts. So in this particular wave, it looks like oh, the Nobunaga guy. I brought him out. So this time I decided to only stay with level 3 leadership, which is interesting. It's an interesting choice at this stage in the game because I don't know, we're getting into the harder levels here, or at least approaching them. It seems to me that it would make more sense to go with. Oh man. That I made it through that mess is nothing short of a miracle. I should have got killed there. So that looked pretty lucky to me that I even got through that. But I guess a lot of stuff going on there. And my regrouping here. Got a plunge on the way. It almost looks like it's a good. Oh, I saw another one. Oh, and another one. So I'm just keeping that just coming. Sometimes what I'll do in these situations is let my front line go down and just regroup. You know, let everything that's coming at the enemies just let them keep coming. And I'll pull back to the gate, and save up my leadership, and then just unleash a whole bunch of guys at the same time. But it actually looks like it was the right decision to just keep fighting it. Oh wow, a bunch of flying enemies. These panzers. That was a good use of that skill. It's a good thing that I have the bow at the level that I did this level. I wouldn't recommend approaching this level the way I did. I would probably try to go Farmer Zerg, but I would definitely be using more archers. Knowing what I know now, more archers is definitely necessary. Let's go clear a couple of them out. That's good. That wasn't looking good there for a second. So it looks like this one looks like it's in the bag now. 90% done. Oh yeah, those guys just got those guys easy. So that's it for this video. Let's wrap this one up. Make sure and like our videos and subscribe. And until the next video, this has been Chris with pixelfreak.com.